It's a chilly morning in Salt Lake City. Stephen Covey sits at his cluttered desk, notepad in hand, thinking about what truly separates effective leaders from everyone else. He scribbled down countless ideas, but there's one relentless question pounding in his mind. What habits do the most successful people actually live by? The answer won't just unlock business success, it'll change lives. But what if those habits ran deeper than mere efficiency, tapping into the core of our character itself? What if effectiveness starts inside? Hang tight. The story you're about to hear flips what you thought you knew about success. You've heard of quick fixes, hacks, and shortcuts, but Covey cuts through the noise. He starts with a seismic shift. Effectiveness begins from the inside, not the outside, and that reversal is the first habit you need to master. Back in the 80s, Covey observed countless seminars focused on skill building, sales tactics, time management drills, persuasive talk tricks. But the people who stayed successful year after year, they shared a secret. They weren't relying on fads, they built a rock-solid character. These weren't just performers, they were people grounded in principles like honesty and humility. That's when Covey realized, effectiveness isn't about quick wins, it's about who you are underneath. But what does that even mean for you? Think of personality like a costume at a masquerade ball, fun, flashy, but temporary. Character, that's your fingerprint, etched by habits and values, invisible but unshakable. Covey paints it like a tree. Techniques are the leaves fluttering in the wind, but character is the sturdy root gripping the earth beneath storms. The inside-out approach means you don't just dress for success, you grow a forest over time. When you start inside out, the payoff is profound. You stop chasing external validation and begin shaping your world by who you are. Like a lighthouse steady through fog, your principles guide your actions and decisions reliably. The stunning insight, real change in relationships, work, and happiness, isn't possible until you transform yourself first. Covey's second habit is deceptively simple but life-altering. Take ownership. Sounds obvious. Not quite. Most people live like leaves in a storm, reactive, tossed by circumstance. But what if you could decide how to respond no matter what hits you? Covey tells a crisp story about Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor who found meaning even in the worst prisons imaginable. Frankl noticed that, although he couldn't control the brutal events around him, he could always choose his response. His attitude was his last freedom. This wasn't some lofty philosophy. It was survival, pure and raw. What if you could harness that kind of power every morning, no matter how awful the news cycle or office drama? Imagine stimulus like a cue ball hitting a billiard ball. You can't control the initial strike, the rude comment, the traffic jam, but you control the cue sticking to your cue, your response. Covey calls this stimulus response. It's like your mental autopilot, and guess what? You get to program it. Being proactive means rewiring your brain to pause, choose, and then act deliberately instead of letting events push you around. Once you take real ownership, your life rewires in ways you don't expect. Suddenly, you're not waiting for permission or luck. You create opportunities, calm your stress, and even boost others just by how you choose to show up. It's a radical freedom. Your response becomes your power play. The surprise, it's addictive. Once you feel it, you don't want to go back to the old reactive you. If you do know where you're going, any path will do. Habit 3 throws down one powerful challenge. Dream your own funeral. What do you want people to say about you after you're gone? That question is the compass for everything you do. Covey tells of a CEO who rewrote his company's mission after attending a workshop inspired by this habit. By thinking about what legacy the company wanted to leave, he sparked a cultural revolution, shifting from numbers-driven to purpose-driven. It wasn't just about profits anymore. It was about meaning. That CEO's story isn't unique, but what's unique is the deliberate decision to act based on the end goal, a roadmap for everything. Think of your life like a GPS system. If you don't put the destination in, you'll just drive aimlessly, guessing your way through intersections and detours. Covey encourages you to create a personal mission statement, your end picture. That becomes your navigation system. It's like having a lighthouse in the fog, illuminating choices clearly, so you don't get lost in daily distractions. The strange twist: when you design life by the end in mind, your everyday habits snap into place effortlessly. What once felt overwhelming or scattered now feels purposeful. Even mundane tasks align with bigger aspirations. The payoff: you're no longer living reactively but steering intentionally. And that clarity, it's wildly motivating. We all have 24 hours, but some people accomplish what others only dream about. Habit 4 is the tactical secret sauce. Focus on what matters most. But here's the kicker: that means saying no a lot to everything else. Covey charts the story of a doctor juggling emergencies who learned a brutal lesson: constant urgency distracts from strategic care. After redesigning his schedule around important but non-urgent activities, like preventive medicine, he dramatically improved outcomes. This wasn't just about managing time but managing life's priorities, where long-term health mattered more than instant fixes. But it takes real courage to say no to the screaming emergencies most people chase relentlessly. Imagine a bank account of time divided into quadrants: urgent and important, urgent but not important, important but not urgent, and neither. Covey calls this the time management matrix. Most folks live stuck in the urgent cycle, non-stop busy work with little payoff. But putting first things first means living in quadrant 2, the important but not urgent zone. That's where growth and impact live. It's less noisy but way more powerful. The surprising transformation: when you protect your boundaries and focus fiercely, your life doesn't feel like a hamster wheel. You get meaningful wins that compound over time. Stress drops, relationships improve, and oddly enough, the urgent chaos outside your door often solves itself or becomes manageable. The payoff: you gain control by letting go of everything else. Forget zero-sum games where one side wins and the other loses. Habit 5 reveals a deceptively simple mindset shift. It's not me versus you, it's we together. That can transform conflict into collaboration. Covey recalls how two rival sales teams in a sprawling tech company would sabotage each other for quotas. When leadership introduced a new incentive system rewarding combined results, the tense competition softened. People had to listen, collaborate, and share openly for the first time. The result: sales skyrocketed and tensions evaporated. That story holds a mirror up. Even antagonists can learn to build together. Empathy here isn't just nodding politely. Covey compares it to picking up the other person's glasses and seeing the world from their vantage point, feeling the texture and weight of their story. That kind of genuine listening breaks down walls instantly. It creates a fertile ground where true problem-solving, not positional arguing, flourishes. The magic word here is synergy. It's the idea that the whole is greater than the sum of parts. When two people bring authentic openness, the solutions feel fresh and often surprising. What looks like compromise is actually innovation. You don't just settle for less, you invent a better path. The payoff: deeper relationships and wildly better results. Remember that cold morning in Salt Lake City? Covey hunched over his notes, chasing the real root of effectiveness. Those 7 habits aren't just business hacks, they're a new way to live. Start by looking inward, own your reactions, dream your ultimate legacy, focus relentlessly on what matters, and when challenges arise, don't fight, find the win-win. Try this today. Write down one way you'll take responsibility for your reactions this week. It's simple, tangible, and it'll set you on your way to becoming truly effective. Subscribe for more book summaries like this one.